Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. So the third test match between England and India is over on day 4. England winning convincingly by an innings and 76 runs. It was a dominant performance by them. And yesterday we saw some fight from India, but today England bowled exceptionally well and the match turned very quickly. We thought maybe India could put some more fight, get closer to that England target, but it wasn't to be. And an innings defeat was the result for India. If you just look at from England's perspective, Ollie Robinson was fantastic. A Fifer, he broke that bone of he broke India's backbone, basically getting Virat Kohli, Pujara, and Rahane. Fantastic bowling from him. And if you just notice, both him and Overton as well, they're both tall bowlers, but they were hitting that off stump line, that top of off stump line and length. That was very, very crucial because with that height, you're tempted to bowl the short ball. We saw India also straying on the deck side, bowling a bit short, Ishant Sharma, but Robinson was doing none of that. He was very accurate in his line length. Yesterday, he wasn't rewarded, but today came out, picked up 5 wickets. So on this pitch, consistency was key, accuracy was key, and eventually you will get rewarded. The new ball did the trick for England, and they picked up wickets early. Pujara leaving one, Virat Kohli sneaking one, and after that it was a quick finish off the tail. India's tail is long in this test match and the last one as well. So yeah, I think magnificent performance from England. They'll be really happy. What a comeback after Lords. A lot of talk about their batting. Their batting stepped up to the plate, scored 400 plus runs. Root with another 100. He's just on a golden run. The likes of Hamid, Burns, even Malan contributing, that will do them a lot of good. And going into the 4th test, the momentum is with England now because after Lords, yes, India, looking like they can wrap up the series. At least like a 2-0 lead where they can't lose the series. But now the series is on the line going into the last 2 test matches. There might be a bit of weather and rain around as well because it's getting to that September time where it does rain in England. It always rains, but during those days it rains a bit more. So we don't know what's going to happen. The next 2 test matches are going to be very crucial. But for this test match, I think India will be very disappointed with the way they batted because even in the second innings, 215 for 2 and then collapsing to 270. There is something important there that has to be criticized, leaving that ball outside the off stump, showing a bit more patience, being a bit more smart in which shots to play. I think they haven't adjusted properly to this pitch. And it's surprising because I think they played well at Lords, but they just could not, they replicate that performance here in Leeds. And I felt Leeds was a much, much better batting track. The way England batted, of course, credit to the batsmen, but it wasn't as hard for them as it was in Lords. So that's something that India will have to work on. Their batting is a big issue. Even when Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul are giving you starts, the likes of Virat Kohli, Pujara, Rahane, they need to capitalize more, especially in the first innings, right? Like second innings, okay, I understand they did get starts. Kohli got a 50, Pujara got a 90, Rohit Sharma also got a 50. But when in the first, if you did that performance in the first innings, it changes the complex of the game, the complexion of the game. Sorry, and that's what's needed. You need to have a first innings strong start. When you get 78 all out, it's unacceptable. It becomes very, very difficult, and you just can't get into the game. So that's a major concern for India. And then that trickles down to their bowling as well, that negative effect, because when they came out to bowl, they looked flat and they didn't look like the same bowling lineup that was there at Lords. Even though it was the same personnel, they just could not hit the lines. They couldn't pick up wickets at regular intervals, and they weren't producing enough chances that they were in the previous game. And so when one department doesn't do well, it automatically affects the other department, and that's the worrying sign for India going back. Now they'll have to tinker with the personnel as well. Ishant Sharma, maybe he's tired, maybe he doesn't have that same stamina that he did a few years back, so they might have to give him a rest. I think Ashwin will probably play at the Oval now because there will be some turn at offer now. These English pitches, they are drying up because of the county season and domestic season coming towards an end, the sun beating down as well. There will be more scope for spinners, I think, on these pitches. So Ashwin also strengthens the batting. There's something that they have to look at, and it's their top 4, top 6 batsmen as well. They'll have to step up. We've seen glimpses from Pujara, we've seen glimpses from Rahane, from Rohit Sharma as well. Rohit Sharma, one thing I would say that he looks the most untroubled from the batsman, but one big problem is the lapse of concentration, and he throws away his wicket. He needs to, of course, he got a really good ball in the second innings here, but he just needs to try and get to that 100, because for him it looks, batting does look easy. He just needs to learn a bit from Root in terms of getting that started and making it count. If he can execute that, then it'll be next level, and it'll really help India from that side of things. If you look at Virat Kohli, captaincy will be questioned, but batting form, he needs to get into form. Yes, he got that 50, it'll give him a bit of a thing, but now he has to kick on from there. He has to step up, score those hundreds like Root is doing. It's very easy to say, especially when you're in bad form. It's not that easy, but he will have to muster something up, because a lot of questions be asked. England will come back strong, even though there are a lot of players missing from this England team. They still have a very solid team, and home conditions they can always exploit and take advantage. So it's not going to get easy for this Indian team. They'll have to fight back. We've seen them do that in Australia, and I'm expecting them to bounce back at the Oval, because if you can win a series after getting all out for 36, you can do the same thing after getting all out for 78. So that's one thing from India's point of view. They have to be mentally strong. They have to be positive. Their batsmen have to take more responsibility, I feel, and and get those runs. Whereas England, I think, they will be on a high. Anderson, I don't know how he's doing it. 3 matches now in a row. He's performing in every single game. Will he get a rest? Will he not? I don't know. I think he might just play the next 2 test matches, but I think he's getting very good support from Robinson. Overton was exceptional in this game. He stepped up to the plate. He's shown that he can do it. So even though they missed Mark Wood, Overton has shown that he has the skill set, to master these conditions, and he did it really well. He's picking up wickets as well, and these two can both bat as well. That increases England's tail. Moeen Ali chipping up with wickets, that was very important for England. I think him and Root can play a role in the next 2 test matches with the ball as well. So it's not it's really good signs for England going into that 4 test match. I don't think they'll make too many changes. For them, the biggest thing they will take from this, not only, of course, Root was fantastic, Anderson was fantastic, but the biggest thing they will take is Malan at 1 down, performing like that, scoring a 70 odd. I think that's where they were struggling in the top 3. And, with all their 3 batsmen, Hamid, Burns, and Malan getting 50s, it'll give them a lot of confidence, and they look like favorites now going into that next Oval Test match. What the conditions will be, we're not sure. Over here, I just felt Leeds was an excellent track to bat on. Bowling wise, if you were consistent, you would get rewarded, and that's something that India weren't. But England were, and they had a you would say relatively poor day on day 3, England, with the ball, but they just stuck at the plans and there was a collapse. So that's something that India have to also learn from. With the ball, they have to be more patient and they have to be more accurate when bowling. And I think that sums it up for me. The star of the game, I would probably give it it's very difficult, but I'll give it to Anderson, because I think Anderson, that spell, that broke India's back, and there was no looking back from there. I think that first session of the first day of the test match, he just broke India's back. He picked up those wickets and sent them packing. After that, it was very difficult mountain to climb for India, and that set the game up. Of course, Root was fantastic. He's the greatest test player right now. Currently, he's in best form and he's looking fantastic. But apart from that, it was an overall team effort from England. Very dominant, looking strong now. A lot of confidence going into the next test match. Let's see what India can muster up at the Oval. Until then, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and send in your questions and your thoughts on the game. Thank you so much for joining me.